Reason why that funny face light skin felt so comfortable coming up here to try to bash Simone Biles' husband, and the reason why everyone keeps trying to bash Simone Biles and her husband is because she's a dark skinned happy woman in a black relationship with a very attractive man. And a lot of women,
and I do think that's kind of, she could have a point with that. You know, women are jealous of other women, you know, when they see them in fruitful relationships. And they'll do anything, especially if that woman doesn't have a focus, I mean a man, they will do that. They will try to give them messed up advice to sabotage that relationship they're in. It happens a lot, especially with older women, with younger women. If, for example, if you know, you might be a younger woman hanging out around single older women, and that older woman would purposely give you misleading advice to destroy your relationship just so she could be single with you. So that is kind of the truth. And you also see the same thing with Clarence and Queen. You know, it's very obvious that the brother Clarence doesn't want to be married, but she keeps trying to force him to do so, I guess you could say. But that's a whole nother video for another day. But let me keep going.
can't get them. It's the same reason as to why a light-skinned woman will befriend a dark-skinned woman just to boost her confidence. Why do you think this funny-faced light-skins feel so entitled to speak about anything? Look at that bitch. Literally.
And that could have some truth to it. But let's not sit up here in the front like dark-skinned women didn't start all of this stuff. Like, the only reason why light-skinned women feel, even if she is trying to compete with you, y'all started that competition. Alright? So, you can't start stuff with a certain group of people and then they compete back with y'all and try to sabotage stuff. Because let's be real, a lot of dark-skinned people, y'all sabotage the stuff they had going on with their own group of men. let's keep that in mind. So we can't, you know, be hypocrites here. I'm not saying that you're wrong about what you're saying. And a lot of these chicks, especially these mixed chicks, they just hate men in general. That's what I've noticed. A lot of them have that feminist spirit on them. Black women do too. But especially the mixed ones, I noticed. I've been around. And they could come from the Caucasian side. Who knows? But but let's keep going.
Like, go to her page and look at how she looks. That bitch looks miserable. But she's light-skinned. Tell me I'm wrong. This is why everyone feels so entitled to Simone Biles and her relationship. Because she's a dark-skinned woman. And people don't believe the dark-skinned.
I don't necessarily know about that because, like I said, black women give their commentary on light-skinned women's relationships too as well. Like I said, you see it with Clarence and Queen. Two light-skinned mixed people in a relationship. You see it even with Janae Aiko and Big Sean. That's all black women were talking about. It's them too. So I mean, you can't necessarily say it's just because somebody's dark skinned. And I'm not totally disagreeing. It could be what you could be saying. It could be true to it. But we're not going to sit here and act like it just doesn't happen. It just happens to black women. Like, we're not about to play that victim game.
Women deserve to be happy, so they just cannot believe that she's actually happy.
I do think there is some truth to that, but like I said, I think it's more so a woman thing than a skin tone thing. And then again, she could be right, but who knows?
Most of the people who even have something negative to say about Simone Biles' relationship are light-skinned women. That's the only ones that are still trying to harp on, still trying to question if on this app, the creators, like in the same capacity that Hollywood pushes forward as to what black women or what we should be listening to from which type of woman. That's why Drew Follow is so popular. That bitch is the most negative person I have.
And don't get it twisted, black women of a darker hue does have every right to feel this way because black women and light-skinned brothers. But it's usually, you see dark-skinned women, they call it out more. But they do have a right to feel this way because, you know, they do use light-skinned, especially a lot of black men, they use mulatto women to stroke their egos and try to compete with black women. They do that. And it usually works with light-skinned women. And on top of that, what But on the same token, you can't be totally mad at light skinned women because, like I said, dark skinned women, y'all did start this. All right, I do feel that dark skinned women, y'all teach y'all dark skinned sons and black sons, to seek after lighter women. That's what I believe the actual game plan was. Until they grow up and it becomes a trend to date them. Now y'all want to date black men now or dark skinned men now, because it's cool. It's the cool thing to do. But initially, when y'all had the opportunity to raise them with self love, y'all failed to do so. Y'all was tell them to do the complete opposite. So,
damn near ever seen on this app, aside from Fanita. And she has a massive following while bashing men and having one. But see, you all don't even pick up on that.
That's facts. Beyonce did the same thing. She was sitting there talking about single ladies. And the whole time she had a man at home. Because a lot of these bras, not only just that, they also just feminists. And they perform those rituals on black women. That is a real thing.
Someone like Simone Biles would never come on here to try to tell anyone what you should or shouldn't be doing. But Drew Follow feels entitled to do that. I wonder why. So, maybe if you think that colorism doesn't exist, the next time you're listening to a video that's very, very popular, check and see the skin tone. I'm not saying to judge people based off of their skin tones. I'm just saying to notice a pattern, if there is one. If you're a darker skinned person on this app, I want you guys to notice as you're scrolling, the people who have a major following, if they're dark skinned, they're either one, not talking, two, they're in a relationship, or they're doing some type of personality thing, like to make you laugh. That is the only way. You cannot be simple. You cannot be in a niche and try to gain. You might gain like your local notoriety or popularity, but nationally ain't gonna happen.
And that's another thing. Like, black people are obsessed with validation from non-dark skinned people. Like, why are you trying to get national attention? Like, what's the point? Like, what's the purpose? I know what the purpose is, but like, why? Like, they're always trying to be validated by non-dark skinned people, and I feel like they always trying to compete with light skinned Negroes, because that's what it's really about. They love competing with light skinned people, but when light skinned people compete back, they start crying and whining. I'm not saying that's what she's doing, but that is a pattern that I notice. Or when light-skinned people compete back and they naturally outshine them, they get upset. And I'm not saying that she's wrong, especially when it comes to dark-skinned women. Like, dark-skinned women, like, nobody really cares. It seems like nobody really cares what they're talking about. So I understand where she's coming from a little bit.
And I'm not trying to discourage or say it's impossible, because anything is possible. But y'all just be trying to ignore colorism in the same way that white people try to ignore racism. Y'all ain't no better than them.
No, y'all ignore colorism too towards light-skinned Negroes. Let's not sit up here and act like y'all ain't been torturing them behind closed doors, even though y'all try to paint yourselves as victims. Like I said earlier, if y'all would have let mixed people be mixed people 10 years ago or 20 years ago, like I did a video about Tiger Woods, we wouldn't even have this problem. But y'all kept trying to force them just to side with darker people. Y'all try to use them because y'all know that they was a little confused. Y'all started this stuff, so you can't blame them because y'all started it. All right. The light-skinned dudes specifically, they were perfectly fine being separate. That's how they wanted it the whole time. And we would kick it with each other, light-skinned dudes, dark-skinned brothers. We would kick it with each other on special occasions.
We still love Chris Brown. You can't tell me it don't exist. Y'all are fake. You don't care. No one wants.
The same reason people still love P. Diddy. People brush that P. Diddy stuff all underneath the rug. People brush that stuff underneath the rug. R. Kelly just got released. R. Kelly got locked up for doing what he was doing even before he even got locked up. It took him a long time to get locked up. People still blasting his music. All right. A lot of times this colorism stuff is low-hanging fruit. All right. People give preferential treatment to people they find attractive and also people who have swag and who can entertain them. That's just life. I'm going to see you on the next one.